Podcast City Network.
Due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Deleted Wrestling Podcast. Enjoy the show. It's wonderful.
What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Deleted Wrestling Podcast. I am the Everett Lee. Quick shout out to everyone that follows me on Twitter. You can follow me at the Everett_Lee. Facebook.com/the Everett Lee. Click that thumbs up. And of course, right here on Podcast City Network, on podcastcity.net. And right here on our Twitch channel right now, on twitch.tv/Podcast City Network. Well, Everett Lee, and returning again. This is just turning into a regular thing, which I think is great and awesome because I love having someone who's on the industry, that's in the business, giving their take on these pay-per-view prediction shows. Please welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, none other than Kentucky's own wrestling, the Chris Rose. How you doing tonight, Chris?
You know, Everett, I'm doing pretty good, but at this point, I should be a co-host and not a special guest. And we were supposed to go on at 9, but you people will go on my time. We're going on at 10 because the Chris Rose said so. Everett, I'm doing great. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. You should, my co-host. I should start addressing you as my co-host because you've earned that title. You've done these enough now, so you're pretty much my co-host. So, ladies and gentlemen, joining me is my co-host. He is none other than Kentucky's own wrestling's the Chris Rose. How's that?
Oh, yeah. Everett, that sounds amazing. That sounds so much better.
Let's give you a round.
I am honored to be the co-host. You're lucky I don't say host, but I am honored to be the co-host. I love being on here, talking to everything, wrestling with you. I love doing these pay-per-views once a month. It's a fun time for me, especially when there's so much going on this weekend. We got TakeOver. We got my show as well, 80s Night in Shopville, Kentucky. Bell time 7:30. The Chris Rose will be dominating as always. And of course we got SummerSlam Sunday. It's going to be a fun weekend, man.
It is. It's definitely going to be a fun weekend, especially with wrestling. Everything that's going on with Saturday night NXT TakeOver Toronto, and then of course Sunday you got SummerSlam, and that's basically what we're going to be discussing tonight and stuff. And One thing I want to mention is that Wednesday night on the Everett Lee Show, I had Mr. Wrestling Jeremy Rage on, and he came on and we talked about a number of things. And we were talking about Kentucky's own wrestling, and he filled me in on some things, little info about the Chris Rose. It looks like the Chris Rose is tagging with Chris Sterling. Can you tell me anything about that?
Well, all I know right now is that Chris Sterling is the KZW United States Champion, and I once was the KZW United States Champion, and I lost that to Crutch, and I must say I'm glad it's off of him and on Chris Sterling. And he's a phenomenal champion. Chris Sterling should be the United States champion, and I got his back. But as far as the tag team is concerned, we are best friends. And we are not a tag team at this time.
Oh, you're not?
I will have Chris Sterling's back. Oh, 100%. I love the guy. He is the man. He is the champion, and I fully support him.
That's awesome, man. That you're supporting him and being a friend. And I know how it is in KCW, man, because talking to everyone and stuff, it's just people are out to get you, and people backstab you. And when you're backed up in the corner, you got to know who you can trust with you there and who you can support, right?
Yeah, and I've had matches with him before in the past, and you know what? We've had our differences before, but let me just say this: your best friend is your worst enemy.
Yeah,
he's my best friend. We was once worst enemies before, but he is my best friend. He's the man, and I fully support his U.S. title reign. And you know, who knows? In the future, we may be the tag team, and you'll have to just keep following Kentucky's Own Wrestling's Facebook and find out for yourself, Mr. Everett. But you know, you brought it up, and I gave you all the info I have, sir.
You have, and I was just wondering. I wanted to ask you about that because I wasn't sure. You know, it's just word of mouth going around right now, just in everything that's happening. So I just wanted to make sure that, you know, I wanted to get the source straight from the man. You know what I mean?
But Rage and his tag team partner B.W. Anderson better hold on to those tag team championships close, because me and Chris could sneak in and get them. But that's just me. That's just me talking. We're not a tag team yet. So you know what? Here in the future, we may be.
Yeah.
But I do respect Rage as well. He's doing a very good job with those championships with BW, who I also have respect for. But you know what? D. Chris Rose has said this from day one in KZW. I'm only here to collect gold, and I need a strap around my waist. You know what? It could be very soon. You never know. You never know, Everett.
You never know. You never know. Go for the tag team titles. That'd be great because, yeah, I guess Rage and Anderson is just scouting to see who's out there and what's happening. But yeah, I would like that. I'd like to see you as tag team champion. I would, but Mr. Wrestling and BW Anderson, they're going to be holding on to those titles. They're not going to let them go. And you and Chris Sterling, I think
they're great. They're great.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. Chris Sterling's not going to lose the U.S. championship either. Me and him are the same, and he's going to hold it for a long time, just as I did.
He will. He's great in the ring and everything what he does, and he's going to hold on to that U.S. title there, and he may surpass you. You never know.
Everett, don't talk like that. But if he does, you know what I'll do? You know what I'll be doing if he does?
What's that?
Supporting him.
Because
he's my best friend. That's what best friends do. They support each other, even if one is successful than another. They support each other. And through my whole entire reign as the U.S. champion, Chris Sterling supported me. And I will do the same.
Yes. Let's give a round of applause for that right there.
Very good.
Now, talking about titles and championships. This Sunday, man, SummerSlam. It's going to be live on the WWE Network. I believe starting time's at 6 p.m. on the WWE Network with pre-shows. I want to mention, did you hear about what they're going to be doing this year with the pre-show?
Mm-mm.
Apparently, tell me.
I haven't heard.
Yeah, I just read this today. This may be something new, but I'm pulling it up right here to kind of look at and make sure that this is accurate, because I had to take a double take on this too, because you know how when they have their pre-shows right before the main pay-per-view, they may have a couple matches talking about the build-up with the matches and everything that's happening, you know, on the card that night.
Right.
Well, apparently it looks like that they're going to air the pre-show in VR.
No way.
Yes, they are. They're
Bleacher
going.
Report.
Yep, they're gonna be right here. They're gonna the SummerSlam kickoff show. This is off of WrestlingInc.com. The kickoff show will be live in virtual reality on Sunday by using the Oculus Go and the Gear VR headset. Yeah, you download the Oculus Venus app to join the crowd for a social experience, or download the Next VR app for the immense 3D virtual reality experience. And yep, the pre-show kickoff show starts off at 5, and SummerSlam starts off at 6. But yeah, that is just that's crazy, man. You know, they had the thing with virtual reality with some of the matches from WrestleMania, this past WrestleMania this year. And I have one of the headsets. I have the Google headset, and I tried that thing on, and I downloaded everything, and I went to view it, and it just, my phone couldn't take it. It was crap. It was crap. I had to get rid of it, man. I had to get rid of it. But it looked neat from what I watched there. I was watching Triple H and Batista, right, and then watching Triple H's entrance in VR. It felt like I was right there, though, but it kept skipping and freezing up and jumping around, so I had to get rid of it. Yeah. But, I mean, it was pretty neat from what I experienced, though. But the VR thing, I guess that's a new thing and stuff. What if you're sitting there, you're watching a match. Imagine the Chris Rose having a match and you're watching it in VR. How awesome that would be.
That would be awesome.
that
would be a privilege to everybody around the world to watch Lee Chris Rose via virtual reality. That'd be great.
Yeah, that is great. That would be great to watch some really good wrestling with some great talent in VR. That would be.
Check that out.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check that out, man. I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. But one thing I'm for sure about is that with the kickoff show on this Sunday, I'm not really sure what's going to be on the kickoff show. Nothing's been announced for the kickoff show yet, because I think the reason why they don't announce anything now until you find out the day of is because I guess people get upset about it because what's going to be on the kickoff show. So, it's interesting to see what they're going to have, though. But I have the match card lined up right here, and there's quite a bit of matches on this card. There's, I think about 10 matches. And one of the matches I want to start off discussing with you with is Gulak. Drew Gulak defending the Cruiserweight Championship against Oni Lorcan. Yeah. What are your thoughts on both these guys, man? Because Drew's held on to the belt for quite a while right now, ever since he won it.
He has. I like both guys. I don't see them a lot on TV because I don't watch 205 Live. Like I've said in the past, your co-host doesn't watch 205 Live.
Me neither.
Even though he's about the same size as the guys, but I don't watch 205 Live, but I do follow it on Facebook sometimes. But Drew Gulak, I predict he'll retain. Oni Larkin has a lot of good. He has good upside about him. He's been there a long time in WWE now. But I believe Drew Gulak will hold on to the 205 Live Cruiserweight Championship. Everett, what about you?
I believe he will too. I believe he'll hold on to the title there for a while, because I know Oni Lorcan, he's doing so much right now in NXT, and he's making that jump to 205 Live there. That's kind of almost like his main roster debut. if you really look at it, because he's jumping up on 205 Live. And so he's still doing some things back in NXT, but I still feel that he's not fully going to make that full transition to 205 Live. And Gulak is going to hold on to the title for a while because there's still quite a bit of talent and competition there in 205 Live to try to take that belt away from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe Drew Gulak's got this one in the bag. But Oney Larkin is a workhorse.
Yeah.
I wouldn't sleep on him. The guy can work his ass off.
Oh, yeah.
And I see really good things in the future for Oney.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do too. And he makes that full transition from NXT into 205 Live. I don't know if he has yet, but don't hurt me if I'm wrong on that. But yeah, I believe so. Start at right here at the bottom of my notes here. We have about 3 women's matches on this card here. We'll start off with this one here. We have Trish Stratus going one last match for now, I predict, against Charlotte Flair. Man. I don't know what to say about this one. I do not know what to say about this one here. Trish coming out and going after Charlotte. I guess in some ways, I think they're trying to legitimize Charlotte more than what she is, because with Trish coming out, because here lately bringing out people, especially there's another veteran that's on this card here, or legend that's on this card here too. We'll talk about here in a bit, but I feel like they're trying to get more viewers to view in and stuff. But the thing is, people that, like for myself, who was around during the Attitude Era, remember Trish. A lot of the new people are too familiar with Trish. But if they go on the WWE Network and check out the body of work she's done, they'll know who Trish Stratus is because of everything that she's done. Because during the Brawl and Panties match era, she was putting in 5-minute matches and putting in the best work that she can. And if you take Trish Stratus and you put her from the last 3 years before she retired, I believe those were the best 3 years of her career, because she was the most improved. Every year she improved. I mean, her and Lita had some great matches, but her going up against Charlotte, I think that they're trying to legitimize Charlotte more, because they were riding high on Charlotte and Becky stole that thunder, and that came out of nowhere. And so therefore, having Trish going up against Charlotte in some shape or form will legitimize her, because I feel Charlotte is going to win, because Trish really has nothing to prove except, being called out, and just there's nothing for her to prove. So I have a feeling Trish will put Charlotte over. But if Trish wins, I will be surprised, because then, to me, that would be, you won't see the last of Trish.
Yeah, I feel like Charlotte's going to take this one. But I think the reason Trish came back is, like, in the Brawl and Panties era, Trish and Lita was the 2 workhorses in the women's division in that era.
Yes.
Like, you saw them in those matches sometimes, but those 2 was like a Becky and Charlotte. They would put on those crazy women's matches, and I think a young Trish and Lita would be perfect for the women's division now, because it's full of athletes. And I think Trish kind of, misses the business, because her era has begun now. Like, she was a athlete. She wanted to be a serious wrestler with these women they have now. And I think this will be a passing of the torch kind of match, because Trish was one of those women that came along, a trailblazer as far as the athletic women who can put on great matches like the men can.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I look for this match. I look for this match to be very well, and I see Charlotte winning, and Trish having that one last ride.
Yeah. I don't know what I have no idea what they're going to plan after this with Trish and Charlotte. I don't know if they're going to end up planning on doing something with her, with maybe Lita coming back, maybe Charlotte tagging with someone, because at this point, pretty much what they planned on with Charlotte, that went out the window because Becky, she took that. She took that, and there's no other explanation or nothing to say. It's her stock has been kind of stale lately. Just a little bit. You know what? You know what really cringed me about when they were in the ring doing promos? Okay. Trish is looking dead at Charlotte doing promos. Charlotte's cutting a promo and not even looking directly at Trish. Yeah. That's what killed me about this. I like Charlotte's work in the ring, but I feel that sometimes her promos come off a little bit too scripted. You can tell. I don't feel it.
That's the difference between Trish and Charlotte, is because Trish was around that era where it wasn't like that, really.
Yeah.
And now it's they got like 100 writers, and I guess when Trish was there, they didn't have about 5 or 6.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, it's totally different now, and I'd say Trish is one of those, workers like a Jericho, a Punk, or, a higher-up worker like that would just crumble up the paper in front of them and just toss it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's...
So because promos, in my eyes, the writers can't write what you think.
Exactly.
I feel like you should do the promo in which you would do it in real life.
Right.
That's what I disagree with WWE, but Vince McMahon's a genius and he can do what he wants, but I don't think you should have that many writers.
Nah.
I think it insults the fans' intelligence because they know the difference. They know. They
do.
know the difference between a Stone Cold and a Seth Rollins, The Rock, or a Roman Reigns. They know the difference.
They do.
And, hopefully they go back to letting guys have free reign. Kevin Owens is a guy that now has free reign. He has unscripted promos. And that's a guy who should, because he can talk. He has good verbal skills, and he can do stuff on the mic. Mm-hmm. And that's from being around Chris Jericho all those years, I believe.
Yeah. That's I agree with you on that there. Yeah, I mean it's definite. I mean it's definite because you can tell. You definitely can tell, and I definitely agree with you because of being around Jericho and just how the promos and everything do come off. And from that era, you're exactly right. It's different from it is now than when it was back then. You're absolutely right. And speaking of back then, this next match here was a surprise. I didn't expect it because it was rumored, but I didn't know if it was going to happen or not. Talking about Dolph Ziggler going up against Goldberg. Now,
yeah, man, that's gonna be insane. I love Dolph Ziggler. I've always been a fan of his work his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
He's a tremendous athlete. He's a athlete. He is a Division I wrestling athlete in college, and I've always followed his career. I've always looked up to him as a wrestler myself. I've always watched his work. And Goldberg as well. I mean, not his work per se, but it's his character. There's a lot of good characters in the business. And
Yeah.
Goldberg is one of those larger-than-life characters. And I think, Goldberg wants to make a return because of his match with Undertaker. I mean, he got knocked out, clearly, and Goldberg couldn't do much in that match. And I know a lot of fans give him a hard time, but Goldberg legitimately got knocked out in that match.
Yeah, he did.
He couldn't recover from it. And, I have a lot of respect for Goldberg at the age he's at to come back and do these matches. And I think that, like Chris Jericho said a few months, I don't think the older guys should work with the older guys. I think they should work with the younger guys. And I think in the near future, you're going to see Undertaker work with Drew McIntyre, which is great. I mean, they'll put on a hell of a show.
Yeah.
And Goldberg working with Dolph Ziggler. I mean, it's going to be I think it's going to be a match. I don't think it's going to be a squash like a lot of people think. But I do think Goldberg is going to win. But, Dolph Ziggler is a tremendous performer. But I believe Goldberg will take this one, and he's going to win.
Yeah, that's the thing about Goldberg there. He's pretty much going to. I feel he's going to squash Ziggler. I feel like he's gonna squash Ziggler. That's the thing. Did I lose you?
Yep, I hit end call by accident.
I was trying to figure out. I'm like, who the heck is calling me right now? I don't even have the number up. The call.
We're still live, right?
Yeah. Look at that. Anything happens when you're live. You lose phone calls.
That's the joy of being live, everybody. I'm sorry. I didn't call by accident. Sorry, man.
Okay, I
was going to the match card again to look over it, and I hit end call by accident.
That's fine, man. That's fine. Before you hung up on me, I was saying that I feel like Goldberg is going to he's going to squash Ziggler. This is going to be a basic Goldberg match. He's going to go in there just like the last pay-per-view when Owens and Ziggler got in the ring. Look how long that lasted at Extreme Rules. I feel this is going to be the same way. Goldberg's going to go in there and he's like, boom, 1, 2, 3, that's it. And it just, I don't know. I feel like WWE has missed the opportunity with Dolph because of everything he's done. And I know they made him world champion when they had the world when they had the world title, when they had the world heavyweight championship. But him winning the WWE championship or a Universal championship, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But if it does eventually happen, I'd be shocked. But at this moment, right now, I don't think that's going to happen because they're going to get out there. Goldberg's going to get out there. Spear, jackhammer, 1, 2, 3. This is going to be a squash match. That's basically it. It's a squash match. But I was shocked because I thought it was going to be The Miz versus Ziggler at SummerSlam. And then when Shawn Michaels was there that Monday night, it was like, oh, damn, Dolph Ziggler versus Shawn Michaels? Hell yeah. But then when they said Goldberg, that was like, that's it, man. That is it. That is it.
Right.
But yeah,
I still think the Shawn Michaels and Dolph Ziggler match will happen.
Yeah.
And I think it will happen at WrestleMania. I think that match will still happen. I think they're going to try to build Dolph Ziggler like Randy Orton back in the day as the legend killer.
Yeah.
But who knows, man? A lot of people think it's going to be a squash, Everett. That's why we're doing a prediction show. We can't predict the same thing all the time.
Exactly.
So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens Sunday, brother.
Yeah, we'll see how fast this match goes. I'm gonna take my timer out. I'm gonna take my stopwatch out, I did that during WrestleMania, I believe it was 33 or 34. It was 34 when Goldberg went up against. No, it was 33 when Goldberg went up against Lesnar, and Lesnar won the Universal Championship.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. I took out my stopwatch and we timed it. It was like 23. It was 23 seconds, or match. That's basically what it was. A 23. No, it was before that. One of the matches with Goldberg was 23 seconds. No, it was with Kevin Owens. That's it. Spear, jackhammer, 1, 2, 3. When he won the Universal Championship off of Owens. But speaking of not Kevin Owens, not yet. We'll hold off on that one. I want to talk about one thing that people's hyped up for, and I'm pretty hyped up for it. You're probably hyped up for it. Talking about Finn Balor going up against Bray Wyatt, the new repackaged Bray Wyatt, known as the Fiend. Man, that mask, man. Good Lord, I'm just looking at it right here on the screen as it pops up. God dang, that mask is creepy, is it not?
Yeah, and that mask is made by the same guy who did, a lot like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like he did a lot of iconic horror films, and I can pull it up right here in just a minute. But yeah, I'm really intrigued by the Bray Wyatt character now. It's very interesting. I love the Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah.
Man, this match is going to be great. I would love to see Finn Balor come out as the demon, but I think he's just going to do his, normal Finn Balor thing, because the demon has never been beaten.
Right.
I believe they should have the Fiend Finn Balor go, beat the demon and push that character strongly, because a lot of fans believe that Bray Wyatt's new found character is the best thing going right now.
Yeah.
And, that speaks a lot, because there's a lot of good talent and in the WWE. And Tom Savini.
Yep, Tom Savini did it.
And,
he was in
a lot of good masks for a lot of horror films.
Yeah. Speaking of horror, I don't mean to cut you off. Speaking of horror, he was in the original Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah. He was in the he was in with George Clooney too, right?
Death Till Dawn. He was the guy with the crotch gun.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. He created that mask. He did a hell of a job though. But god dang, it's creepy as hell.
Yeah, he did the Frankenstein, Jason, Critters. He's done a lot of them. And that mask that Bray Wyatt has is pretty insane.
Yep.
And that's the alter ego, the Fiend, just parallel to his opponent.
Yeah.
As the demon, Finn Balor's demon. And I really hope he surprises the Fiend as the demon, and they go at it. And man, picking the Fiend, Bray Wyatt in this one, I feel like he's going to take it.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, you're bringing the guy back after a long hiatus. How do you not win?
Exactly. I agree with you right there. Bray, they built him up really good and stuff. And you were talking about freedom, creative freedom. Bray's had creative freedom over doing the Firefly Funhouse and the Fiend and all this right here. He laid out everything, and he's had the creative freedom to do all this stuff. And I do like that. I like how this past Tuesday on Smackdown, when he showed up on the monitor there at the Firefly Funhouse, and he's like, "Yeah, we're big fans of Finn Balor." He's like, The Fiend accepts. He's talking in third person. He refers to the Fiend. It's him, but the thing about it I like is he refers to it as the third person, the Fiend. And then he gets all kind of serious. He's twisted, and he says, "Let me in." And then you see that. Now, yeah, the Fiend is going to defeat Finn Balor. That's what's going to happen. Bray Wyatt is going to defeat him. But I'm wondering what kind of finisher is he going to use. Is he going to use Sister Abigail, or is he going to start using the Manimal Claw? Because he's used it twice already. Remember, Chris, he's used it twice already. He used it on Mick Foley. He used it on Kurt Angle. Okay? Now, is that his new finisher?
I think he'll start using the claw, and for the simple fact that when he first used it, it was on Mick Foley.
Right.
And that was another passing of the torch with the finisher.
Yeah.
I see the Mankind character parallel with the Fiend in regards to being out there and different.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Mandible Claw with the Fiend Bray Wyatt worked. And I think he should still use that. I think the Sister Abigail phase is gone.
Right.
He doesn't do that no more, and I don't see no reason for him to use the move as a finisher, but I still believe he'll still use the move, but not as a finisher per se. Because a lot of guys do that, Ziggler does the zigzag, but it's not a finisher anymore.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people do it. I can't really think about that, but that's one of them.
Right.
I think the Manimal Claw will be Bray Wyatt's new finisher, and it fits him. Because, he has that mask on, and you're getting choked out with fingers in your mouth, and you're so scared to look at the guy in the face with that creepy mask on. It makes sense. And it's going to be interesting to see this character going forward.
It is. It's definitely going to be interesting because he's creepy as hell, man. He gives you chills some nights. I'm sitting here, lights off here at the house. I'm on the computer here. The only light I have up is the one right across on the wall across from me. I got the TV on behind me. Bray Wyatt pops up. I'm sitting here, and there's just that eerie music and everything. I'm interested to see what his entrance is going to be. What kind of entrance he's going to have. And Finn Balor is going to take this loss. That's another thing. Finn Balor is going to take this loss, and he's going to go away for a while. And when he does come back, apparently he may be teaming up with the OC. That's a rumor.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah,
I definitely see that in the near future.
Yeah.
I think they should build that stable up as they did with the NWO. But, I think having a OC, the original club, because it is Finn Balor and Carl Anderson and, I can't think of the name.
Luke Gallows.
Luke Gallows.
Mm-hmm.
They was the original club. Now AJ Styles came after Finn Balor.
Yeah, the same night. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the same night when Finn Balor left, that's when they brought AJ into the Bullet Club. But you got two of the founding members of the Bullet Club there. You have Finn Balor and Carl Anderson. Imagine Finn coming back and joining the OC. That would be fantastic. And tell me, could you see at WrestleMania 36 the Demon versus the Fiend?
At WrestleMania, the Demon and the Fiend.
Yeah.
I think I don't think there's going to be anything past this SummerSlam match.
Right.
I was thinking the Undisputed Era versus the OC.
That would be good. That would be good. Because I believe after SummerSlam, there's supposed to be some change-ups. They're going to be mixing some things up again. And you can throw the wild card rule out the window because that's gone. And because of everything with Fox, having Smackdown in October. And it's just, that's out the window. And, yeah, I could see a mix-up and a change-up. Yeah, definitely. Get the Undisputed Era going up against OC. That would be great. That would be freaking great.
Love to see. Can you hear me, buddy?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I would love to see the Undisputed Era go against the Club.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I would just like to see that because they're like the same thing. And in the near future, I would like to see those two go at it, those two factions. But, yeah, I would definitely see Finn Balor losing Sunday, going away for a while, and coming back to the Club.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
Yeah, that's what's rumored supposed to happen.
In the near future, I could see AJ and Finn fighting for the power of the Club. And because those two have had a phenomenal match in the past.
Yes.
And those two could be a WrestleMania main event.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Exactly. I'm right there with you. I am right there with you on that. Now, earlier we were talking about Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens for Shane McMahon. If Owens loses, he quits. He quits.
Right.
Kevin Owens has basically, he's another finisher that someone's had that he's using now, Stone Cold Stunner. And Stone Cold is giving props on it and appreciates it because they asked Stone Cold, what are your thoughts about Kevin Owens using your stunner? And he said, hell, someone has to do it. So he's flattered. He's flattered by it. I don't know if you heard about that or not.
Oh, yeah. I've heard about it, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
so,
I think, this match is going to be, good for what it is. And I believe that they're going to swerve everyone, and Shane is going to win.
Oh.
Because of his winning streak. I believe Shane will win. And they did this with Stone Cold and Vince.
Yeah.
I believe there's going to be some interference, and Kevin Owens is going to lose. But I don't think he's going to quit. I think they're going to, this is an intriguing match.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't really know what's going to happen. Because you don't want Kevin Owens to quit.
No.
But you don't want him to lose. And Shane is a modern-day Vince McMahon now.
Yes.
I mean, Kevin Owens has the mic skills and the skill to be a modern-day Stone Cold.
Exactly. I agree with you right there on that. I'm going to throw this out here. This is a long shot now because this is August. January's Royal Rumble. I'm already going to give you my prediction right now out of the winner who's going to win the 2020 Royal Rumble. Kevin Owens. And you know why? Is going to go back to this Sunday in this match here with Shane. It's going to be the start of something that's going to go on into WrestleMania. I believe this is they're going to drag this out, and it's going to be great because if they let Owens have some freedom, you're going to see some crazy stuff if they let that happen because it's going to be great if that happens with Owens because I feel that Owens is gonna make Shane's life a living hell. He's gonna make Owens' life a living hell, and yeah, it's this match here. You don't know really who's gonna win. Shane, I'm sorry, I think Shane is gonna win, but however, there's gonna be some turn of events on Monday night or Tuesday night on Owens getting reinstated somehow. But I believe Shane is gonna take the victory on this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I see Shane winning.
Yeah, he's definitely going to take this one. Since we were talking about U.S. championships earlier, and we were talking about AJ Styles, let's talk about Ricochet in his rematch against AJ Styles for the United States Championship. What are your thoughts on this one?
This is going to be a great match. They've had a couple of matches in the past that's been great. I'm going to go with AJ Styles retaining with the help of the OC. I've been following this on Raw from time to time. They've, this is one of those matches, man. It's going to be a 5-star match. Don't know how much time they'll get, but I see AJ retaining and Ricochet losing. I like Ricochet. He's a Kentucky boy just like me.
Right.
I see AJ retaining.
AJ retaining. I'm going to have to go with you right there because AJ retaining over Ricochet. Ricochet is hurt. I don't know if you knew that.
No.
Yeah. Ricochet is hurt right now. His elbow or his shoulder, something happened, and he's hurting right now, and or his wrist, something on his arm is killing him, and he's not.
Yeah. I've heard about it. It's his elbow.
Yeah, it's his elbow. Just like almost like Bobby Lashley, because Bobby Lashley, he won't be back till November because he has some kind of bone spurs in his elbow, so he's going to be out.
No.
What?
Sorry to cut you off again, Dave.
No, I heard no.
I'm sorry to cut you off again, man. But I have something to say about the Bobby Lashley thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
At last, the stomping ground, him and Braun Strowman. I think that made a lot of fans like Bobby Lashley so much more again. Because initially, when Bobby Lashley came into WWE, I thought he was going to have a match with, Brock Lesnar. That's the match I wanted to see.
Yes.
And, since Lashley's run, a lot of people really don't believe that'll happen now and all that. But, this might be a good thing for Bobby Lashley. Because when he went away, that made me look at him as I did when he was in TNA or MMA, like as this big powerhouse, big guy.
Right.
That can take down the beast.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think when Bobby Lashley returns, he's going to go after the Conqueror, the reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion, Brock Lesnar. I think that match will happen at the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania. That match is going to happen, finally.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm right there with you, man.
Yeah, I had to say it. I had to bring it up. I really want to see that match.
So you think Bobby?
And I think.
Do you think, or do you think Lashley's? You think Lesnar's going to probably have a
33 and a third chance
of actually beating Lashley, or is it going to be the other way around?
If they have the match, honestly, I think Lesnar probably wins. But
Yeah.
I really just want to see these guys beat the crap out of each other.
I do too. I like seeing a couple big men go at it just for the hell of it. I enjoyed Big Show and Braun, man, actually, when they had their matches. That was great.
Yeah, Big Show's a pro. He's the ultimate pro.
Yeah.
Big Show is like Mark Henry. Those two big guys out there do not care what they do, but they do it at the best of their abilities. They're two big pros. They just love the business. And Big Show is a guy who I have much respect for because that guy started the business with Hulk Hogan, and he didn't really know what the business was at all.
Exactly.
Like, all right, Hulk Hogan's taking me under his wing. I mean, what the fuck you want me to do? I mean, and when he got to WWE, Hogan wasn't there to hold his hand, and it was just a lot different for him. But he's adapted to the business like everybody else has, like Chris Jericho. Even today is his 20-year anniversary to his debut in WWE.
Oh, damn! I didn't know that, man.
It is August 9th, and it was totally different.
Wow.
Yeah. It is totally different. WCW was totally different than WWE. You had to earn your stripes. And at WCW, if you had a big, like Goldberg didn't earn his stripes.
Uh-huh.
It's a totally different business. And yeah, Big Show's definitely earned his way. And him and Braun Strowman did have some good matches, man.
Yeah.
And he has high hopes for Braun, just like I do. I think Braun Strowman's a good competitor. He's got a big future in the business. And yeah, you can see it definitely. And Strowman's not even doing anything on SummerSlam, but I mean, you can't fit everybody on there. There's
Exactly.
There's so many people in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Great stuff.
It is. Yeah, there's so much on there that you cannot fit. You cannot fit like everyone on this pay-per-view. That's why this Monday they've announced that the women's tag team champions Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross will be having another match up against the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, not Iro Shiro. So I had to throw that out there. But yeah, AJ Styles is going to retain the U.S. Championship. I definitely agree with you right there. Yeah, he's gonna win this. He's gonna keep the title. He's gonna hold it for a while until someone else steps up and takes it from him. And whoever that person is, I hope it's a damn good person. I do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I definitely do.
I like it. Daniel Bryan beat AJ for the WWE Championship a while back, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was too soon because AJ on SmackDown was great, man. When he had the WWE Championship.
Right.
AJ's a special talent, man. He's one of those special talents that come along every once in a while, and AJ got brought into the WWE very strong.
He did. He
managed to stay that way, and I enjoy watching him, man, on TV. It's great.
Yeah, he didn't even have to go to NXT. You notice that he didn't even have to go to NXT. He bypassed NXT and went straight to the roster because of who he is. And look what happened. Same thing with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. Yeah.
I felt that way about Samoa Joe as well, but from what I heard, Samoa Joe wanted to go to NXT to work with the younger talent, and I respect that a lot, man, because I like Samoa Joe as well. But I mean, Samoa Joe should have been on the main roster. I mean,
exactly.
I could see him doing that. Like Bobby Lashley came right back, but he's been in the WWE before. That's different.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, he was there. Yeah, he was there back in the day because you could pull up velocity matches with Samoa Joe, and he looked totally different there. He did. He had bleached blonde hair.
I was talking about Bobby Lashley. Like he left WWE in 2007.
Yeah. He left. He left, and then he went on to do different things and go MMA and just do different type of things. That's basically what he did, and he went in a different direction and just doing different things that he wanted to do. I mean, you can't blame the guy there. You definitely can't blame the guy there.
I can't believe they have not done the Brock Lesnar Bobby, because Bobby Lashley, I don't know if you remember this, but when he was with Leo Rush as his manager, like, he would talk crap about Brock Lesnar. and they
Yeah.
still never did that match.
No, they never did. They never did. They never did that match. That's one thing. One thing that they never did. Eventually they will. I believe eventually they will do the match. We don't know when that's going to happen, but when it does, it's definitely going to happen. It definitely is. Now,
Yeah, Vince is one of those guys who, if the fans want it right away, he'll make them wait.
right.
That's just the genius in him, just to build it, so the fans will pay that money to see it.
Exactly.
And I myself I would pay that money to see that match, because it's going to be a fight. And,
Exactly. Exactly. Now, the second women's match that's on this card here.
yeah.
We have this women's SmackDown, the SmackDown women's. I said the women's SmackDown. It's going to be a SmackDown. It depends on how you look at it here. You have the SmackDown women's title match with Ember Moon going up against the defending champion, Bayley. Not much hype on this match, huh?
Well, on SmackDown, they've been building it a little bit. Bayley and Ember, have been teaming a little bit and all that, but yeah, not much of a big build, as the other women's match, Becky and Natalya.
Right.
But I see Bayley retaining the championship. I don't see Ember Moon taking this one.
You don't.
But Ember Moon, they're trying to push her again as well. I really enjoyed Ember Moon's work in NXT.
I did too.
Main roster, I haven't. There's so many women though on the main roster. It's kind of hard to fit them in.
Yeah.
Like the women's tag team championships. Shout out to Alexa Bliss and
Nikki Cross.
I really like that tag team, and I'm glad they are champions. But
Yeah.
back to the SmackDown Women's Championship, I see Bayley winning this one.
Bayley retaining. I do too, because I would be shocked. I'd be shocked if they actually gave it to Ember Moon, because earlier today Becky Lynch called out Sasha Banks and said, suck it up, and you gotta basically learn, not be a crybaby, and learn how to accept losing. Which I thought was funny. But I feel that the reason why they gave Bayley the SmackDown Women's Championship, for the fact is that everything that happened with Sasha Banks after what she did, and everything with her losing the tag team titles, it was their way of saying sorry to Bayley and letting her have that championship there. And I know a lot of people are happy Charlotte didn't get it back. But the thing is that with Bayley, if Ember Moon wins this, I'd be surprised if she wins it, because I'm gonna have to go with Ember Moon. I hope Ember Moon wins this one, and because I think she can go in a direction with the title that Bayley can't take it. I believe that though. But then again, they keep the belt on Bayley, and who the heck on that roster can take it? Actually, I think I know who on the SmackDown can take it. If you really think about it. Mandy Rose.
Yeah, I'm still all for her, man. I'm still pushing for her to be a champion someday.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
That'll happen in the near future, I guess. But Bayley's got her charm back. Bayley's got her character back in place like it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're still going to run with her. But yeah, I would love to see Mandy Rose win the championship. I still think she has a lot of sparks left. And we'll see how that all goes, man.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully, one and the other way. Now the last match, women's match on this card. Speaking of women, we got the submission match for the Raw Women's Champion title, the Raw Women's Championship. Natalya going up against the man, Becky Lynch, in a submission match.
Right.
When is the last time that we've seen a submission match? When the hell is the last time we've seen one? Can you really think about it?
It's been a long time, man.
Yeah. It has. It has been a long time since you actually seen one. Has it not?
It has been, man.
Yeah. It has.
Looking it up right now because I want to know. But while I'm looking that up, yeah, this is gonna be a good match.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Swagger and Rusev, 2014 was the last one.
Damn, 5 years ago? 5 years ago was the last time we've seen a submission match.
The last time.
Damn.
And Rusev won that because I think I've went back and watched that before. That's when Rusev was first starting out.
Yeah,
but
I like that Rusev.
But I have a bold prediction for this match.
Okay.
I believe Becky Lynch will win.
Mm-hmm.
I love how WWE does this. I like Natalya. Natalya's been around for years now.
Right.
But I believe Natalya is going to get booed in Canada, and Becky Lynch is going to get cheered.
I don't think so, man. I was about to bring that up. I'm glad you brought this up. Because I feel that Becky is going to get booed like she was supposed to when she first started out with being the man. And instead of getting cheered, she was supposed to get booed instead of getting cheered. I feel that because it's Natalya Neidhart. If she gets booed in her own country, you know what, dude? I come up to Kentucky, all right? I come up to Kentucky. I do this. I will buy you a beer because of this, okay?
Wow.
I will buy you a beer if Becky gets out there and they cheer her and they boo Natalya. They boo their hometown hero. If they do that, I'll buy you a beer. But I feel that Becky's going to get booed. Natalya is going to get cheered. But
the reason I'm just saying that is I just don't think Natalya has the same spark as she used to have. And I think Becky Lynch will win. But what the prediction I was looking at is I think Ronda Rousey is going to return.
That's a good point. I thought about that. I
think she's gonna confront Becky Lynch because Becky Lynch got a win in the Triple Threat Women's first ever main event at WrestleMania.
Exactly.
And it was kind of a weird finish, to be honest, but Ronda Rousey had her in the her submission hold, and Becky Lynch reversed it and got the roll-up pin. I think Ronda Rousey makes her return at SummerSlam and challenges Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship.
That's a good point. That is a good point right there because I can agree with that right there. That's a good point because Ronda can show up maybe after the match or maybe mid-match, and she could cost. She could cost Becky the championship there because her boyfriend don't have a championship, and when we get to his match, there's quite a bit. There's quite a bit I'd like to talk about that, but Chris, that's a good point. That Ronda returns. Okay, Ronda returns. Look at this scenario. She returns and causes Becky to lose the Raw Championship to Natalya. That's the only way Natalya's going to win this. However, if Becky beats Natalya in her hometown, okay, then you know something is happening, because eventually they're going to set it up. If Ronda shows up and Becky still has that belt, you know where it's going. It's going. They're gonna make sure this heads into the next WrestleMania. However, it's Natalya's hometown. She may win the championship, because you know how many times a person who's been in her hometown winning the championship happens.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I know.
I have a ton of respect for the Hart family.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in the Hart family. I really do.
Yeah.
But no, Becky Lynch has no reason to lose in this match. Becky Lynch is, she's the face of the women's division right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I see her, winning, and then Ronda Rousey coming out and attacking Becky, because when Ronda Rousey left, she left as a bad guy, a heel, and Ronda Rousey will come back as one.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I do think Becky and Natalya is going to have a hell of a submission match, but I think it's going to be a really good match.
Right. It's just,
I don't. Has the women ever had one of these before?
I don't think they have. Honestly, I don't think they have, because I can't think of anything. If they have, it was back during NXT. Actually, no. Let me take that back. No, Iron Man. They have had Iron Man matches in NXT with Bayley and Sasha Banks. That's the only thing I think of. But like submission matches, I can't really think of anything. And something just occurred to me. I'm looking at the graphics flashing up on the screen. I was looking at the Trish Stratus and Charlotte Flair. Yeah. Talking about being booed and cheered. You know who's going to get booed and cheered in that one?
Yeah, I think Charlotte is going to get booed and Trish is going to get cheered. I think it might be a little mixed for Charlotte because she's so damn good.
Right.
She's a good heel, and it's in the genes. Ric Flair was a great heel as well. And, people just couldn't help but like him, and they can't help but like her as well.
Exactly. You said Ric Flair?
I think Trish has earned a lot of respect for everybody in the business.
Right.
I've always been a fan of Trish Stratus. She's a very good-looking woman, but I've always been a fan of her skill and ability in the ring as well. I thought she was more than a bra and panties wrestler.
Right. You said Ric Flair, didn't you?
Oh. Oh yeah, I did mention Ric Flair.
Yeah. Whenever anyone says Ric Flair, they're gonna hear.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. The submission match with the Raw Women's Championship, Natalya and Becky Lynch. There's so many variables and so many stuff that can happen in that match right there. Man, I agree with what you say. You bring up a good point. Ronda could come in and show up and cost Becky the match, and Natalya can win. That's something right there. It's something I really didn't think of too much, but pulled us some really good points on there. Stuff I miss, you bring up, and I'm like, yeah, I didn't think about that. That's a good point. I like it. I definitely like it. Now, 2 of the last title matches in this pay-per-view. WWE Championship. Kofi Kingston defending against Randy Orton, the Apex Predator, the Viper, Randy Orton. Yeah. What I like about this, at first, when Kofi called out Randy Orton on SmackDown, I said to myself, why is he calling out Randy Orton? Why is he calling him that? As soon as Orton came out in the ring, Kofi stated his case, and it was a good one. I was like, you know what? I can go with that right there. Now, how is Orton going to respond to that? To holding him down. 11 years it's taken him to get a championship. And it was because of Orton back in 2009, that moment in that match there on Monday Night Raw. He brought that up. Orton's response was, I love this, Chris. I loved Orton's response to this. He's like, your championship run's a fluke.
All right.
He told him, it's a fluke. It's a fluke because if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be champion. And I said to myself, I said, now, why is that? Orton said, he told Kofi, the reason why you wouldn't be champion, because of me, because I'm the one who took Ali out. If Ali didn't hurt, you wouldn't have been able to take his spot. Then you wouldn't have been able to go on to WrestleMania to face Daniel Bryan and win that championship. It's because your champion is because of me. And then Kofi fired back at him, and he's like, I'm going to prove to everyone, and I'm going to prove and recapture that moment that you took away from me in 2009, that I'm going to beat you. Orton said, well, I'm going to destroy you with the 3 destructive letters in professional wrestling, which is RKO. Now, great build-up. This got my interest because after everything was stated, I said, yeah, you got my interest now. You definitely got my interest. I feel that Orton may run away with this title because for the fact that Kofi's had a good run. He's had a good run with this title. However, a lot of people's been sour on the fact that who's been thrown in front of Kofi Kingston. I feel that Orton is going to take the title from Kofi, and Orton's going to run with it for a while until probably, like I was stating earlier, with another rival with Owens and Shane McMahon. Owens winning the 2020 Royal Rumble and going after Orton and taking that WWE Championship. That's where I believe they're going to build this at. Kofi is basically going to jump back and doing what he does best with the New Day. And that's basically, they've given him his moment. Kofi's had his moment. He's run with it. And now they're going to give that belt to Orton because I feel that Orton, if you really look at it, Orton has been up there. He's just about up there with holding the most titles. Flair, 16. Cena tied with Flair, 16. Triple H, I believe, 14. Orton's 13. He's going to tie Triple H if he wins this title this Sunday. So, Mr. RKO, Apex Predator, is my pick for this win in this match.
Yeah. Weeks ago, there was a 6-man tag with Randy Orton, Samoa Joe, and Elias versus the New Day.
Right.
And Randy Orton pinned one of the New Day members, and I was like, all right, I know what they're doing here. Randy Orton. I mean, Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton at SummerSlam does make sense. Because I watched it in 2009. I remember the big, reaction Kofi got at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
On Monday Night Raw with Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
And, they had a little bit of a feud there. And in real life, during that feud, Randy Orton didn't believe that Kofi was a main event guy. And that did hold down Kofi.
Yeah.
And, that really did happen. And, the business is different in 2009 than it is 10 years later right now.
Exactly.
And, I think this is going to be a really good match. I love the build-up that they've done. I love the promos. Randy Orton will definitely make Kofi a star. A star that Kofi already is.
Right.
But yeah, I really don't like Kofi's reign as the champion, but I believe he will retain against Randy Orton, as much as it pains me to say that, because I would love to see Randy Orton as the WWE champion.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Kofi Kingston will retain his championship. I think Randy Orton is past all that now. But you never know. Randy Orton, I think, has, 3 to 4 years left in my eyes.
Right.
But
right.
I think Kofi will retain
mm-hmm.
at SummerSlam. and continue on with that because I still see the New Day breaking up. I know
You
a
still
lot of
see
people
that.
probably don't, but I do see the New Day breaking up because of Kofi's success, and they're, they are the SmackDown. Are they still the SmackDown Tag Team Champions as well?
They are. They're still the tag team champions. Yes.
But there is not one Tag Team Championship on this card.
Yeah, there's not. They may save it for the pre-show. You never know. They may
Right.
save it for the pre-show.
You never know, man.
You never know.
It's almost an hour and a half pre-show.
I know. It's nuts. It's
We'll
nuts.
wait and see, I guess, man. That's crazy, though, right?
It is.
But I think for a lot of wrestling fans, they like seeing the singles matches. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm still excited for this match. That's one of the matches I'm really intrigued by is the Kofi and Randy Orton.
Yeah.
I do love the story dating back 10 years ago. I do
Mhm.
like that, and Kofi
Yeah.
and Randy will tear the house down because Randy Orton, I don't think he's ever had a bad match in his career, and Kofi the same way. And yeah, it's gonna be a sight to see, man.
It definitely is. So you're going to Apex Predator. I'm going with the Apex Predator. So that's.
I said I was going with Kofi.
Oh, Kofi. Yes. Sorry.
I'm going with Kofi, and I've always went against Kofi.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with him right here.
Okay. Going to Kofi. I'm going with Randy Orton on that one. And last but not least, the Universal Championship match. Seth Rollins getting his rematch against the reigning, the undisputed World Universal Heavyweight Champion, Brock Lesnar. He's going to get that championship rematch there. Now, go ahead and kick this one off here. Because I'm laughing because I already know what I'm going to say.
All right. I really have, I like the build-up a couple of weeks ago with Brock Lesnar beating the crap out of Seth Rollins.
Right.
That was really good stuff, I thought. I honestly did. And I didn't like how Rollins became the number one contender, though. I think he should have just got instead of winning a...
What's that? You kind of cut out there. You didn't hang up on me again, did you? Or did you mute yourself? You there? Hello?
Hey, man, my Bluetooth headphones died.
Yeah, huh?
They're starting to go low. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
But I see.
Well, let me while you're fixing that, let me go ahead and just throw in my thoughts on this while you're getting that fixed there. Okay. Is that okay? He probably can hear me right now. The Chris Rose Bluetooth headset just died, and right now he's trying to get everything set up and trying to, I believe, recharge or grab another headset at the moment right now, though. But as always, like earlier, when he actually hung up on me, anything happens live there. But I want to just go ahead and take this opportunity why Chris Rose gets himself situated with his headset and his Bluetooth headphones. and everything. That I want to thank everyone that tuned in tonight and has went back and watched this here on the YouTube channel for Podcast City Network. I definitely wanted to thank everyone for doing that and keeping up with the Podcast City Network over on podcastcity.net and subscribing and following right here on the Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Podcast City Network. And I believe I lost Chris. He hung up because I don't see him on right now. Yep. I lost the Chris Rose. He'll be calling back here in a minute too, but he's getting everything situated. Bluetooth headset died, and he's right now trying to get situated and get another headphones, or he's trying to plug in his headphones. I don't know what he's trying to do, but as soon as he gets situated, he will call back and he will give his final thoughts on this last match here on this card here for SummerSlam, which will be airing this Sunday on the WWE Network starting at 6 p.m. Pre-show starts at 5, and like we talked about, reported earlier, I mentioned earlier that the pre-show will be, you'll be able to watch it with a VR headset, with the Oculus headset. And you'll be able to download that app and everything, and you'll be able to watch the pre-show. And speaking of Chris, there he is. Did you get situated there, Chris?
Yeah, sorry, man.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I was just letting people know about what time the pay-per-view is going to be happening this Sunday on the WWE Network. And I'm glad you called back and everything is going good right now. And
my headphones died. My phone currently only works when I'm on my headphones.
Mm-hmm.
My prediction is Seth Rollins. I think they're going to build this character really strong as they have been. And I think Seth Rollins is going to get his championship back at SummerSlam.
You think he's going to get it back?
Yeah, I think he's going to get his championship back.
No way. Do you think they're going to pull a Roman Reigns, how he won the championship?
Yeah, Brock Lesnar probably, could retain it. I mean, definitely so. I mean, of how things have been going here lately.
Uh-huh.
But I see, Seth Rollins winning the championship.
Wow.
You never know. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Lesnar is pretty strong. He's built pretty strong.
Right.
As of late, this is a hard one for me to choose. So I'm gonna go. I'm going with Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins. Okay. I'm gonna have to go with Brock Lesnar tonight. While I was setting up and getting all the graphics and everything in the slideshow of all the match cards right here, you'll be able to see it when you watch back this here on twitch.tv/Podcast Network, or when the video gets imported up to on Podcast Network's YouTube channel, which you can subscribe to and check out shows like the Deleted Wrestling Podcast, Final Score, and the Everett Lee Show, and much more there. But my wife sat down and was looking and was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, getting everything set up for tonight. She looked at the screen and flashed up in front of her was Lesnar versus Seth Rollins. The first thing she said to me, she said, "Lesnar's going to win." So in a way, I kind of believe that Lesnar's going to hold on to the Universal title. And if he does, because Lesnar had a chance to go back to UFC. Whatever the cause and everything happened, the reason why he didn't go back to UFC to have any fights is because he made some kind of deal with McMahon, and that's why he won the Money in the Bank, and that's why he cashed in. So I feel that there's something's going to happen with Lesnar that they got planned down the road, and it's going to have him losing the belt to someone. I don't know who that's going to be, but eventually he's going to lose the belt to someone, and with the way they're going to set it up, it's going to be big. Or maybe not. Who knows? But I'm going to Lesnar on this one. He's going to crush, and he's going to decimate and victimize Brock. I mean, Brock's going to victimize Seth Rollins. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good show.
Mm-hmm. It is. It is. This is going to be a good SummerSlam. You're right about that, because I mean, you look at the card, look at a lot of things that is on the card. They didn't really have too much time to build it. That's what draws me back a little bit on this pay-per-view, is the fact that they have a great roster filled with talent, but a lot of the stuff they have not really capitalized and built too much on. It's kind of stuff like on the fly real quick. It's like, for example, you showing up at a show. Who am I facing tonight? You're going to face this person. It's like, I can't face this person. I'm not prepared for him. Well, you're going to face him. You know how that makes you feel. You know, I'm prepared to wrestle this guy. I'm going after this guy. No, well, he can't get in the ring tonight because he knew he was going up against you. So he ran out of the building. We got this guy going up against you now. Right? Mm-hmm. That's just how I feel about this. But let me ask you, out of this pay-per-view, what 2 matches are you most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to Randy Orton and Kofi. And also, I'm looking forward to AJ Styles and Ricochet.
Mm-hmm.
Those 2 matches I'm, looking forward to.
Right.
The Fiend return, Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt. It's going to be good. Goldberg, Dolph Ziggler's attraction. That's going to be great.
Right.
The match I'm looking forward to the most is probably Kofi and Randy Orton.
Kofi and Orton. Okay. My 2 favorite matches that I'm looking forward to is, Orton and Kofi. And I'm looking for seeing how they're going to present the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, right there on the screen there. Look at that mask, man. Damn, that's creepy shit. That is creepy, man. That mask is damn creepy. They did a good job making that for him. But yeah, those 2 of my favorite things I'm looking forward to. But like you said earlier, it's going to be a great weekend for some great wrestling. And starting off tomorrow, I mean, you got KCW, and then later that night you got NXT doing Toronto TakeOver. But what's happening this week again? What's happening tomorrow night in Shopville?
KZW presents 80s Night. Should be a great show. I would like everyone to come on out to Shopville, Kentucky, bell time at 7:30 to watch everybody and all KZW do their thing. Should be a fantastic show. And what better way to spend your Saturdays than none other with KZW and, of course, the Chris Rose. Yeah, man, that's what's going on tomorrow night with me. Should be a fun time. Should be a great show.
Yeah, definitely. That's Saturday, August 10th, which is tomorrow night. 80s Night. KCW presents 80s Night at the old Shopville Gym. 144 Shopville Road in Somerset, Kentucky. Doors open up at 7. Bell time 7:30. Ringside seats $10. Bleachers $8. Children 5 and under, free admission. And that's all brought to you by Kentucky's Own Wrestling. And here tonight on the podcast, you can check out more of, I'll pull it up right here, podcastcity.net. Head over to podcastcity.net for podcasts such as The Everett Lee Show, The Deleted Wrestling Podcast, and much, much more. Over on podcastcity.net, you can follow them on Facebook, Podcast City Network, and send a tweet to them on Twitter at podcastcitynet. Subscribe to Podcast City Network YouTube channel over on Podcast City Network on YouTube, and right here on twitch.tv/Podcast City Network for when shows like this right here go live on Podcast City Network. Podcast City Network is your top source for independent podcasting. And I want to mention, be sure next week, ladies and gentlemen, check out on the Everett Lee Show. My guest will be Killer Katelyn from Kentucky's Own Wrestling. She'll be joining the podcast next week. I'll be having an interview with her. And the following week, I'll be doing a Q&A requested by Mr. Wrestling Jeremy Rage. We'll be doing a Q&A fan call-in or chat questions on the chat here on the stream for Mr. Rage. That will be there in a couple weeks. And then at the end of this month, I will have none other than David Barnabas Spectrum from Darkness Worldwide will be joining the podcast at the end of this month. I will be talking with him, finding out what the hell is up with Darkness Worldwide. And you can check that out on the Everett Lee Show podcast. And you can listen to more Everett Lee over on Stitcher Radio, Podbeam, iTunes. Leave a comment and a rating on Stitcher, iTunes, even on Podbeam. Leave a comment and give me a rating on there too. And I believe the Chris Rose, that is pretty much it for this podcast. Do you have anything else you want to plug before I end this live broadcast?
I just want to let all the wrestling fans know that the Chris Rose is the man, and he is the face of KZW, and he will be in action tomorrow night in Shopville, Kentucky for 80s night, and he will dominate as he always does. And I also want all the wrestling fans to know that competition is a great thing with AEW and WWE. And you can choose both sides as well. You can also watch WWE. You don't have to down them. You can always watch AEW as well. And I'm very excited for AEW in October going on TNT.
Right.
It's going to be great. It's making me feel like a kid again to watch both shows. And that's all I have to plug for this week, Everett. And I thank you, sir, for having me on as always.
No problem. No problem. As always, on the Deleted Wrestling Podcast, I am the Everett Lee. And that is it. We'll see you again next month for another pay-per-view review here right on the Deleted Wrestling Podcast. Everyone have a good night, and we'll see you again next time. Peace.